When humanity fired its first railgun, the galaxy realized it was late. For centuries, the galaxy believed humans were primitive, loud, reckless, emotional creatures confined to a single death world called Earth. They laughed when humanity joined the Galactic Council. They called them children playing with plasma toys. That laughter ended the day humanity fired its first railgun, the Age of Arrogance. The Galactic Union prided itself on peace through superiority. Its fleets ran on stable fusion drives, its weapons designed for precision, not destruction. To the elder species, kinetic weapons, slugs of metal fired by magnetism, were outdated relics of the past. Humans disagreed. On Earth, they had evolved on a world that punished weakness. They'd learned that simple things, done perfectly, could outmatch elegance. While the galaxy celebrated energy shields and plasma arrays, humanity quietly perfected something else, raw kinetic violence. Project Thunderstrike. The Terran Defense Command built their masterpiece in orbit above Mars, a ship called the TSS Eisenhower. Its heart was a weapon so massive it needed its own orbit stabilization thrusters, a railgun stretching 5 kilometers along its spine. Power systems from entire lunar reactors were rerouted to charge it. Other species mocked the project. The Varelian ambassador famously sneered, "Why throw metal when you can throw light?" Admiral Chen of Earth only smiled. Because light scatters, metal doesn't. The catalyst. The test was never supposed to be public, but fate has a sense of irony. During final calibrations, an E3 warlord fleet entered Sol space. They weren't allies, they were scavengers. They saw humanity's railgun platform and assumed it was a defenseless construction array. They opened fire. Human ships fell back. The Eisenhower finished charging. For a heartbeat, the solar system held its breath. The shot heard across the stars. The first human railgun slug left the barrel at 13% the speed of light. No explosion, no flash, just a silent pulse of energy and magnetism. 30 seconds later, sensors detected impact. The E3 flagship, a vessel the size of a city, ceased to exist. It wasn't vaporized. It was deleted. The kinetic force punched through the hull, split the core, and exited the other side before the ship even registered damage. Fragments burned through space for minutes afterward. Every observing satellite in the Sol system went blind for 2 seconds. The shockwave crippled 4 enemy cruisers just from passing debris. When the visual feed returned, the warlord's fleet was gone, and the galaxy fell silent. The moment of realization. Within hours, data from the railgun test reached every major empire. The numbers didn't make sense. Projectile mass, 8,000 kilograms. Velocity, 0.13 c. Impact energy, 6.1 times 10 squared joules. The kinetic equivalent of a small star detonating. No plasma weapon could rival it. No shield could stop it. No armor could even react before vaporization. The E3 Council convened an emergency session. One voice summed it up. We've been chasing elegance while they've been perfecting brutality. The fear. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. Humans built a planet killer. They call it a test. If that was 13%, what happens at full power? The answer was never released. When asked, Admiral Chen replied, "We never fired it at full power." The Galactic response. The Galactic Union immediately issued a ban on high-velocity kinetic research. They called it a Treaty of Stability. Human diplomats signed it and quietly began building more railguns. The Eisenhower's design evolved into the Thor-class orbital cannon, each one stationed around strategic colonies, each capable of rewriting the surface of a moon in under a second. When alien fleets passed near human space, their navigational systems automatically redirected by their own government's order. No one wanted to accidentally provoke a Deathworlders superweapon. What the aliens never understood, To humanity, the railgun wasn't a weapon of conquest. It was a message. Humans had learned the galaxy's truth. Peace was maintained by fear, not diplomacy. So they made sure the galaxy would fear them. But deep down, humanity didn't want war. They wanted respect and survival. When reporters asked Admiral Chen why they built such a monstrous device, she answered simply, "Because we were late to the stars, and we don't plan to be victims when we arrive." A lesson in perspective. Over time, the phrase, "we were late," became a human creed. While other species rested on technology they barely understood, humans advanced relentlessly, not by imitation, but by improvement. They built better reactors, smarter ships, adaptive AI navigation. And yet, no matter how advanced they became, one thing remained constant: the railgun. It became their symbol, elegant in its simplicity, terrifying in its purpose. The day the Union tested humanity. A decade later, the Galactic Union demanded proof that humans would not use their weapons offensively. They dispatched a fleet to orbit Titan, claiming inspection rights. Humanity responded with silence. When the Union fleet arrived, its flagship detected something strange, a faint magnetic anomaly near Saturn's rings. The Admiral zoomed in. A shape emerged from the deck, a massive station, glowing faintly blue, aimed directly at them. Eisenhower, too. The fleet turned around without firing a shot. The words that changed the galaxy. Later, at a council hearing, a ZLTH ambassador accused humanity of intimidation. "You fired your railgun to prove dominance." The Terran representative smiled. "No, we fired it to remind you that we survived a world that killed 90% of its own species before breakfast. We don't dominate. We endure." Silence filled the chamber. No one argued. From that day forward, human ships were never searched, never challenged, and never underestimated again. The legacy. Centuries later, cadets at alien military academies study humanity's first railgun shot. They don't study it for engineering. They study it for what it represented. A single moment in time when an underestimated species announced to the stars, "You've had your piece. Now you'll have to share it."